Alright, now we'll start out by making the poulish, which is kind of like the starter for the beignet dough. So I have some active yeast right here, and I have some water that I brought to a temperature between 120 to 129 degrees Fahrenheit. So you want to stir that up real quick. Make sure it's nicely mixed. Alright, once you get all that in there, once that's done, we're going to pour some flour right on top of it. We're going to cover it with plastic wrap until it starts to activate. Like I said, we're going to cover the poulish with some plastic wrap. Get it in a warm area. Let it activate undisturbed for about 15 to 30 minutes. Once the yeast is activated, it will bubble to the surface. You see that? It will kind of crack. Now we're going to add the dry ingredients, egg yolks, the water, and we're going to mix it on speed 1 to make a dough. Now it's absolutely very important that the water that you use has to be of the same temperature that you use to make the poulish, which I believe was between 120 to 129 degrees Fahrenheit. So I added the water to the poulish. Now I'm adding the flour, the sugar, and the salt. Next, I'm going to add the egg yolks. Alright, perfect. Get that in there. I'm making a super small batch because my mixer's broken and I don't want to cause any further damage. So just bear with me, and it's kind of just to show you. You can make it as big as you want to. It's probably going to give me about 5 beignets total. Alright. Now that's in there, I'm going to use the hook attachment. Get it on there. Lock it in. I'm going to mix it on speed 1 until everything is combined. It's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to do this by hand. Yeah, I gotta get in here by hand because the attachment's not reaching the bottom of my mixer. Yeah, I gotta abort mission. Sorry if you couldn't hear me on that, because my hook attachment's not reaching the bottom of my mixer, so I gotta use my hand. So let's see. Alright. Oh shit. Sorry, I mean to curse. Kinda getting in the way. Perfect. So we're kinda just gonna knead this together patiently. Take our time. It's going to take a while. Mix it together, just bring it up, making sure I'm bringing everything together. As you can see, it's pretty sticky. Just be patient with it. Alright, perfect. Now that it's at this state, I'm going to see if I can bring back my hook attachment to work it. Once I'm done mixing the dough using the hook attachment and with a little bit of flour on the sides of the mixing bowl, I attached the hook attachment, and the only reason that I used my hands in the beginning was because it's such a small amount of dough and the hook attachment cannot reach the bottom of the mixer. So just keep that in mind when you're making it. It shouldn't be an issue if you're making, say, twice the amount of dough. And again, I'm only making a batch this small because my mixer's broken. Alright, back again. Mixing perfectly. Now I'm going to mix this on medium speed for about 5 minutes, then we'll check on it. Now at this point, we're just looking to activate the gluten in the dough, so we're just going to keep working it until it gets the right consistency. Again, I'm going to repeat the same process. Flour the sides of the mixing bowl lightly. Alright, and that's the reason why I don't want to do this by hand, because ultimately you have to knead this for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now imagine doing this with your hands. You know, unless you Popeye or something, it's not happening. Alright, same speed, let it go. You have to be patient, alright? That way you have that nice soft texture in the beignet. Alright, we're gonna let it go for another 5 minutes. We'll check on it, repeat the same process. Now when you're mixing the dough and it starts slapping around on the sides like this, that's when you know it's ready for you to add the butter. So this is the stage we're gonna add the butter. Next, we're going to add the softened butter. Alright, we're going to add it all in one shot. Ordinarily, if it was let's say like a huge batch, you know, really 10 times this amount of recipe, I'd add the butter maybe like a tablespoon at a time. But this is a pretty small recipe, and this is like a tablespoon of butter going in there. So that should be more than fine. So we're going to mix it on speed 1, and do not fret. It might spread around a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like you see right there. Just let it come together, let it do its thing, and once it comes to a dough, we'll knead it a little bit, and let it proof. Alright? Once all the butter is added, the dough should be pretty elastic at this point. As you can see, I'm stretching it out pretty thin. So we're going to flour the bottom of a bowl and put the dough in it. Flour the top of the dough. Then we're going to cover it with plastic wrap and let it proof in a warm area for about 2 hours. Alright, flour on the bottom surface, like I said earlier. Then we get the dough. Just knead it into a nice round circular shape. This has to double in volume. Alright. Get it in there. Flour the surface. We're going to cover it in plastic wrap and get it in a warm area. Once the dough doubles in size, we're going to deflate it. And then we're going to wrap it and refrigerate it for about 2 hours. After we deflate the dough for a second time and it's rested for over 2 hours, we're going to take it out the walk-in. We're going to cut it into, we're going to weigh it, then cut it into equal portions. I cut it into 4 beignets. Now, I got a piece of dough in my hand, like so. And I'm going to kind of crimp it, like so. Once that's done, I'll place it on the counter, and I'm going to put my hand over it. And in a circular motion, I'm going to rotate while I am cupping the dough. You want to keep doing this until you have a smooth exterior. Alright, it should come together in no time, so just be patient until you have something that looks like this. So it's kind of grapeseed oil in the shallow frying pan. I'm bringing it to a temperature of 340 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it gets to that, we're going to drop the beignets. And as soon as we drop them, we're going to flip them immediately and cook them on the other side. Then we're going to cook them 5 minutes on each end, and that should do it. Again, drop it and flip it immediately. Don't overcrowd them. Give them some room. Alright, we're going to let them go for 5 minutes. I'm going to set the timer right now. Side. Perfect. And we'll let it cook for another 4 minutes. Once it's ready, we're going to pull it out the hot oil and we're going to toss it in some cinnamon sugar. And set it aside, let it cool off. Then we'll fill them with some raspberry jam. I'll have the recipe for the raspberry jam in the description box below. And you kind of just want to let it settle. Let all the excess oil drip off and get it in the cinnamon sugar. I'll show you how I dip them in there real quick. Carefully toss it in the cinnamon sugar. Be careful not to burn yourself. So hold it and let go. Hold it and let go. Hold it and let go. We could use some gloves. You could double glove it. If it works. I've just been working in the kitchen for so long that I don't have any sensitivity on my fingertips. So something to look out for. Alright? Perfect. Get the sugar all in the back. I just want to leave a nice clean line for my raspberry jam right here. That's where I want to fill. So I want to leave that open. It kind of looks nice too.